My name is Caitlin, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that is called American slavery in the South to 1840s. So as you can see, there is a picture of a map in America, and the orange color is in the South of America that is called slave states. So the reason why South of America is called as slaveries and slave trades is because it mostly depends on economics that has agricultural products such as tobacco, cotton, and rice that needs a lot of hard labor and slavery to do all the hard work. So in order to maintain their qualities and prosperities. So let's moving on to the introduction. You can see that by the mid 19th century, it is called the slave society period. And the reason slavery gives itself a unique civilization such as class structure, ideology, psychology that leads to the South is standing apart. And after that, the rival societies such as societies with North American slavery versus American slave society and South slavery that is against each other. And based on those sources that I've found, I've drawn the conclusion about the American slavery on the South is a major problem in American society in the 1840s and is the main reason that leads to the Civil War afterwards. By those sources are secondary sources, primary sources, and scholarly article. First, let's take a look into our secondary sources. The first book that I've written is The Pro-Slavery Thought in the Old South by Jenkins William. This source provides many details of the pro-slavery thoughts in the South and the conservative reaction to radical theory and emancipation debates in the South. Also, the culmination of pro-slavery thought. And specifically, you can look into the chapter 2, which is called The Growth of Pro-Slavery Thought in the Old South from page 48 to 106. It tells you a lot of information of slavery before the Civil War. And through this book, it said many arguments and movements has occurred, but still the condition of slaves were not changed. Out of those change and event has led to serious conflicts and debates among Americans. Next, moving on to the next book is The Rise of American Democracy by Sean Williams. This source gives me a lot of helpful information about the slavery problems both in North and the South. And also the reason why I look at this book is because it gave facts that are related to my history studying and researching, such as the Federalists, American colonization, American Revolution, and the Constitution, etc. And a lot of codes made by upper class people, so it would be very helpful. And the next sources, primary sources. The first one is Fulton James, a letter from a man of color on a late bill before the Senate of Pennsylvania. So this is a letter that gives a closer look of the slave immigration crisis out in the northern states and its impact to the American Congress and governor. It was written by James Fulton, who was born as a free black man in Philadelphia on the 2nd September 1766. He's writing these letters as responding to Pennsylvania bill, arguing that it has been a refuge for free slaves and that blacks have unalienable rights set forth in the Declaration of Independence, which are protected by the Constitution. Next, going to the second sources is Southern Slavery on the Eve of the Crisis by St. Helder. This source contains useful information and details about slavery in America. It is what happened to slavery in the late 1830s and during the period of American Revolution and Civil War. So this tells briefly about where and how slaves were sold, by whom and to whom, and it talked about the 2 years that hold mainly of the Negro stock in that estate. Also the conditions of those Negroes, where they came from, and how they were treated in Sylvania specifically, and reported all the sale day. And it is very detailed in what situations happened and descent to the miserable life of slavery. Last but not least, it is scholarly articles. So among all the 3 sources that I have found, I have chosen the columnist Peter A. Engerman, Stanley L., which is called Would Slavery Have Survived Without the Civil War? Economic Factors in the American South During the Antebellum and Postbellum Eras. The reason why I choose this as the best sources is because it shows the impact of economic factors that caused the differences between the North and the South slavery, which leads to the Civil War afterwards. And it's told mainly about the South, such as Upper South, Deeper South, Border South, and statistics about slavery numbers has changed in slaveholders and non-slaveholders. And also the main reason why I choose this is because it's also explained the reason why there's some serious conflicts between the North and the South. That is the best and the most important thing that we should know about slavery in the South. So basically, to summarize, the main idea of South slavery in America in the 1840s is that there's many differences between North and the South slavery that leads to the Civil War afterwards. And also, slavery is a major problem that caused many conflicts and debates in America. You can see that in the North, with the less demand of labor and the strong movement of anti-slavery society, more and more slaves have gained their freedom. While in the South, hard labor has gained more and more because it needs to maintain their prosperity and qualities in agricultural products, and slaves were treated as a property, not a human being. This is the main reason that led to the Civil War afterwards.